Pat Heffernan. Time for more hand modeling today here on the Retro Desk. Of course, that means it's time for a little unboxing. Let's see what we got. Coming to me from our loyal patron, Roy Eltham, this big cardboard box. Let's see what's in here. It is very well taped. We can see it now. Indeed, it is a ZX Spectrum Next. Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, it has a nice box right there. So, of course, a ZX Spectrum Next is a modern retro 8-bit computer based on the original Sinclair ZX Spectrum, but it's based on FPGA so that it can run a modified version of the Z80 at a faster clock rate, in fact, an adjustable clock rate. So it is backwards compatible with the original Speccy, but it has a lot of new capabilities and a lot of cool things going on. So this was from the original Kickstarter. Roy was able to snag one back then. The second Kickstarter has already completed in terms of being able to pledge to it, and so the folks that pledged are still awaiting that second generation unit. But this is one of the original ones, and so we're going to take a look at what you got. So the new ones aren't going to be terribly different, but they're still going to be pretty much the same form factor, maybe a few different features. So here it is. You can see it's definitely a bit different from the original Spectrum models were. It's sort of a halfway between the original and then the 128K versions. So I have like these little hints of the toast rack there, and then the buttons that were more like the later models. But they have these nice little frosted pads here, and then the shiny bits surrounding it. So nice feeling buttons. These are definitely they feel like mechanical switches. They're like a high-end laptop is kind of how they feel. So it's pretty nice. I mean, they're a little loose, so they've got nice action. But you know, this is a very solid unit. So let's take a look at our I/O. Of course, we've got DC power here from a little barrel jack. It takes a PS2 external keyboard or mouse. So I'll be able to use this mouse over here that I got with the Commander X16. I'd be able to use that with this. It has VGA video output as well as HDMI, a full-size HDMI. It looks like it has here a mini HDMI for a debug terminal, which is a very nice feature. And then we've got some earphone or microphone plugs. So it looks like that's configurable. We have a couple of mini USB ports and audio out. So a lot of nice features there. Our few buttons. We've got a SD card. Looks like it's got a little micro SD card in there already, but it takes a full-size one. So I'll stick that back in there. And then it has an external NMI. Like that was a modification that some folks had on the Spectrum, was a button to hit the NMI because it was available on the user port. So what we don't have, I guess we do. Maybe this is the user port over here. What's going on? So there is the old Spectrum user port. So before that, NMI was exposed on the user port bus, and folks would just create a little button that would connect to that. But here we have this nice factory button for that, and then we have built-in, DE9 type joystick ports. So unfortunately, I don't have anything specifically for this. I have those cheap Famiclone controllers. I don't know, maybe they'll work with that. We'll see. So there that is. Let's see what else we get. It's a really nice package. So Roy said he didn't really use this a whole lot. He pretty much just opened it up and looked at it and admired it, and then it did not end up getting used. All right. Oh, we've got all the plugs for all around the world, including America, right here. So there's our American plug, but I'm ready to go overseas now. Here is our international wall wart. It looks like this is, yeah, it's an automatic switching wall wart, which is a very nice feature. So don't have to make sure the switch is set the right way so that we're not blasting something out. And then this, a really nice spiral bound user manual. That looks very nice. There's a lot of stuff in here. So, of course, this has the Sinclair BASIC in there, but it has all sorts of other additional features. It has different versions of BASIC that you can load up. And yeah, so there it is. Let's get this hooked up and see how it works. All right, so we'll take our American style plug, pop that in there. Goes in with authority. I'm gonna hook it up to some of the peripherals I have right here. So I'm gonna do VGA for now. I do have an HDMI that I can plug in there, and then my audio out into these speakers. Turn that on. Turn on our handy monitor. All right. And now we'll plug in some power. We're syncing up. Entering power save. Okay. Seems this monitor has a little trouble directly with the VGA, so we're going to try this HDMI adapter going into the HDMI port. And we plug it in. And there we go. So there's the Spectrum. All right, so it gets this nice little welcome screen at the beginning, and it just gives you a bit of intro to what happens in there, but you hit spacebar and you go right here to the main menu. And if you can hear it, I'll jack it up. Nice old-fashioned specky type clicks as you go around. So we can take a look here at the browser. So this is the C drive. It is the SD card that I have in here. So there's a bunch of stuff going on. So it's got, they put classic games in there, Hibernated Trash Man, and then a bunch of new Next games are in there. But what a lot of folks just want to be able to do is go right to the 48 BASIC, and there you are. And you can write in BASIC using, of course, all of the crazy keystrokes that are in there. So let's say 10, print, and we'll say, gotta find where the quote is. Always the fun, oh, there it is. So this got an actual full quote button down here. Print quote. Oh. Hello. Next. And oh, that's the exclamation point. That's right. It needs a special keystroke. Oh, the joy of it all. Hello. Next. And let's see. is it symbol shift? There we are. Hello, next. And let's see, 20. I need our go-to 10. And then we gotta run. Scroll, no. So there we go. Basic is working. Now this NMI button down here will get a special NMI menu. Of course, on the original, it would just sort of reset usually. But now we can do things like we can do a screenshot, load tap files, lots of cool things, debug tools. You can look at memory browser breakpoints. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and we're going to be exploring a lot of this here on the channel. So let's get back to here. There's the proper reset button. And there's, of course, the documentation, but I want to start the OS. And then in the browser, let's try Classic 48. So you can see here, it's taking like these different binary formats like Z80 and TAP, which is a tape image. Let's try loading a tape image. And load in standard mode. I think this is 48K mode, so let's do that. Well, that just kind of loaded instantaneously. That's pretty nice. We didn't have to actually wait to go through the whole demodulation of the tape signal. So there we go. Oh boy, that's loud. All right. So of course, arrow keys don't work with this. Oh, look at that 48K sound. Okay, let's see what the keyboards. We'll get our keys. Let's see. Will it recognize these? Left, yes. Right. Oh. Oh, it doesn't want that. Okay, so it doesn't recognize that. Okay, let's see. Up, down, fire. All right, let's try that again with WASD controls here. So left, right, up, down, and fire with enter. All right. Prepare for death. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. I died instantly. All right, so yeah, this is like an R-type game. Oh boy. Well, obviously, I am not well versed in this game. The controls are a little... a little soupy. All right. So let's try loading some other stuff that we've created specifically for my tutorial series. But first, we need to have a little word from our sponsor at PCBWay. They help bring all sorts of great things to life, including projects very much like the ZX Spectrum Next. Dream projects where you can create something from the past or the present or even the future and make it a reality on PCBWay. They can print custom PCBs for you for as little as $5. Before you make something as nice and beautiful as this using injection molding, you can have PCBWay help generate 3D printed prototypes, do CNC machining. PCBWay can take you from this dream to the reality of a prototype and eventually production to share this dream with your fellow enthusiasts and create some awesome things to bring into the world. But for now, let's get back to this particular dream of the ZX Spectrum Next.
so far my tutorial series, I got 12 lessons and got a different example for each one. And hopefully they're going to work on here. We'll see if the file formats work out. And I'm just going to put them all on that SD card that comes with it. Now look at that. Isn't that cute? Sinclair ZX Spectrum Next system software. Nice little custom printed SD card. So we're going to try that out and let's see what happens.
All right, so we got the card back in the Next, and in the browser now we can go and look. And here I have all of the example programs from the tutorial series so far. And starting with load, which was just loading a value into memory. So if I run that, there's not a lot to it. It's just the sort of default blinking cursor. But the neat thing is about the Next is that it has these built-in tools. So there's the NMI button right here, which brings up the NMI menu. So it just does a real hard interrupt to that Z80 implementation and lets us do things like, hey, this debug tools, I can actually just peek into the memory of something that's running, and I don't have to get back to the basic prompt or anything like that. So for this program, it actually put some code at 5800 hex. So I'm going to hit address 5800, and there it is. The value D6 is right there, and that's all it did. It just wrote that value into that address in memory, and that was the very first example. Let's see what else, if some of my other things work. I mean, they should. This is supposed to be fully backwards compatible. So let's hit the reset button again. So that's a nice thing that this does a very quick reset. Space gets us to the menu, and we do the browser again. And let's look at something a little more interesting, like, say, the a graphics demo. And there it is. There's a little demo of all the different graphics mode types that we had for the old Specky, and of course we have all of those available to us here. Go back. I put a few other things on there too, like I've got some games. This came with a bunch of games on there, but I added some more because we got to see what they're like, including my game that is just kind of sitting in limbo right now, Pop. But let's see. Let me I'll load this in standard mode. And there it is. There is the example of what Pop is going to look like, that Bust a Move clone that I started working on. And yeah, it's interesting. Oh, see, and the ZX works too for moving the cannon back and forth. And yeah, so we'll maybe I'll get back into making this game again. I think it had some interesting potential. We'll see. But meanwhile, let's see what other games, some more professional, quote unquote professional games, look like, as professional as games got on the old Spectrum here. Of course, you gotta do Manic Miner. Let's blow out some speakers here. All right, so this is a tape image version. So this one, it actually goes through all the tape loading simulation. I could probably find one that's a little more instant load. Oh, all right. So it took forever because it's just not going to work. Little tape loading error. So much for Manic Miner. Let's try something else. Let's try Jetpack. Oh, it's going to do another full load emulation. So I think hopefully people have taken versions of these games and made fast load versions that will work on the Next. I haven't gone about doing this. This is just a version that I've used on emulators, and it works on the emulator. I mean, one would think that this loads up this screen, you'd be able to load up the whole game, but no, still tape loading error. All right, so that's something I guess to watch out for, is certain certain file types are just not going to be happy on the Next. They were, of course, made for emulation in software, and this is, of course, a hardware emulation. So let's see. I've got something that's maybe in a tap version, like I've got Elite in tap, or I've got here Asteroids RX. This is, of course, a modern game, and there we go. Oh, looking good, working good. Of course, Alan Turvey from Happy Coding ZX made this. And yeah, it's working like a charm here. So definitely the tap format files seem to work just fine. TSX, not so much. Let's see about some demos. Now, one demo that the community told me is a really good one is, where is it? ScrollNutter. There it is. So let's see what ScrollNutter is. They say this really shows off the graphic and sound capabilities of the Next and how it goes above and beyond the original Spectrum. So already there we're seeing colors we don't see in Spectrum land. Oh, looking very nice. Looking very Amiga-ish. Oh, so the sound is pretty interesting. So you hear we've got a lot more going on than just the old buzzer. And you can still see here, even in the Next mode, it has this overscan area, because it's still being targeted at playing on a TV. So you're going to have plenty of overscan here on the VGA. So I think what's really interesting, you can see here, we've got 3 different scrolling layers. They're all going at different speeds. Now, of course, they aren't intersecting, so it could just be like this where it's line-based interrupts and it is doing different scroll offsets as it goes down. But it definitely has multiple layers here. This looks like maybe it's a sprite on top of a couple of scrolling layers where we've got the background and then these letters, and then these may be sprites too, these sort of blue tubes. So we're going to have a lot to look at for this system to really understand what's going on. But yeah, we can see very, very chaotic. I don't think it gets any different than this. So let's see what else we can find on the Spectrum. Here, Warhawk is also a good example of the Next game. Oh, and it's also by these Rusty Pixels. So here it looks like a very classic looking opening with attribute clash. Oh, and then fading into a non-attribute clashed splash screen. Very cool. I like that. There's trying to combine the Next with the classic Spectrum. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, very nice Gradius style game. Oh, this looks real nice. They did a very nice job on this. So yeah, we can see here, really nice 16-bit style graphics, but being done on a Z80. Very cool, very cool. Wow, this is really smooth, very nicely done. Well, now I'm just enjoying playing the game. Well, definitely, bravo. So, here, these Nutty Pixel guy, whatever your name, Rusty Pixels, really doing a good job here with the demos and the games. So, that's what we got for the Spectrum. We'll explore a lot of these features, I think, in some future videos. But for now, I think we're doing really well in terms of all the cool things that we have to explore in here. This beautiful book, a really nice package. So hopefully, some of the issues that they're having with fulfilling the second Kickstarter get resolved quickly, and the folks that have already pledged their hard-earned money to get one of these actually get it in their hands, because this is a pretty neat little system. All right, so let's go now to another program that's important to us. This one, of course, Patreon.bas. And not rub, you got to run it. And especially a big thanks to Roy Eltham here, who sent me this beautiful machine, and I can't wait to find out more about it. And these patrons here will give me the ability to invest more time and money into doing that, and to perhaps create a new game, not just pop for the old Spectrum, but something that really takes advantage of the Spectrum. Maybe a port of Chasefall or something else. I think there's an enormous amount of potential here with the Next for creating all sorts of cool games and demos, and I hope you follow along. You'll be able to see those things that I'm doing before the rest of the world if you join these folks on Patreon, but it is 100% free to subscribe here on YouTube and click that bell to be notified when those new videos go out to the public. And then I'll see you then with some more awesome stuff. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.